Tesla stock is up about 2.5% today, and here's why. First and foremost, before we get into Tesla specific news, we had some very good data come out today. We had durable goods orders month over month. Now, we were expecting a negative 0.8% month over month number, but last month's durable goods orders came in at 2.9% or 2.6%. That was revised down to 0.8%. A massive revision. So we came in positive 0.7% month over month, but that's still worse than the expected negative 0.8%, because when you're comparing on a month over month basis, well, if you were 2.6% positive last month and then you're negative 0.8% comparing to last month, it's not as bad. Well, this was not good data today. And the markets recently, they like when the economy shows it's not as strong as we think. Durable goods orders excluding defense month over month came in at 0%. Last month, you were at 2.3% and you were revised down to 1.2%. So that's another pretty ugly number. Michigan consumer sentiment is probably what caused the biggest rally today, though, in markets, because let's be honest, the economy weakening is not good for stocks. Whether initially stocks take that as positive news and we get a bad GDP report or a bad non-farm payrolls report, inevitably that will be seen as bad news all around for markets. But here today, the Michigan consumer sentiment, these were final numbers for May, came in at 69.1. You were expecting 67.5, so a little bit better there. 5-year inflation expectations came in at 3%. You were expecting 3.1%. So that's really good news. Michigan consumer expectations came in at 68.8. Last month, you were at 76. So that's a big drop there. Michigan current conditions came in at 69.6. Last month, you were at 79. So that's another big drop there. And inflation expectations for the 1-year forward period came in at 3.3%. The expectation was 3.5%. So that was much better than expected. So in a nutshell, what you got today is a weakening economy or weakening consumer, presumably with durable goods orders, and lower inflation expectations. And that does set up to be pretty positive for a stock like Tesla that is very interest rate sensitive. And this is probably your biggest piece of Tesla news today that is having an impact to the stock. Tesla cuts Model Y production amid weakening demand in China. Tesla has reduced Model Y production at its Shanghai plant by a significant percentage since March, responding to declining demand in China, Reuters reported on Friday. It is Reuters. Keep in mind, it may not be correct. The Shanghai plant, Tesla's biggest manufacturing hub globally, plans to cut Model Y output by at least 20% from March to June, according to the Reuters report. Now, there's two ways I look at this if it is true, which it probably is true when we look at some of the most recent data. You've seen the production numbers fall basically month over month over month for like 5 or 6 months now. Number one, I'm always going to believe Tesla and Elon are going to make the best choice out of a bad situation possible. Right? So whether they decide to crank out as many Teslas as possible or cut production by 50%, I think Elon and the Tesla team are going to make the right choice that retains the most amount of shareholder value. People get caught up in trying to think they know how to run Tesla. You don't. Nobody does. Trying to figure out what's the best move for Tesla when we don't know what the order book looks like. We don't know what's going on with the company firsthand. Who are we to make any choices? So that's number one. But number two is, if this is a planned reduction of production from March through June, maybe that just gives Tesla some time to run down some inventory. Because as you know, Model Y inventory has been elevated for a while now. If you look at global vehicles in inventory, you're sitting at about 5,600 for the Model Y alone. Model 3 inventory, which we want this to rise because Fremont wasn't producing that many vehicles in Q1. It was a drag on Tesla's total deliveries, at least here domestically in the US. That's now at 3,400, so that looks to be in a much better place. The Model X is now at 2,600 and the Model S is at 1,600. I thought this news today was pretty good as well. Hyundai is doubling down on EVs despite sales slowdown, according to the CEO. With everyone in the marketplace so worried about EVs and hybrids essentially taking over the EV market, a big company like Honda saying they're going to focus on EVs, I think is more credibility or credence towards what Tesla is doing. Lucid will reduce its workforce in the United States by 6%. The layoffs at Lucid will impact employees at all levels, including leadership and mid-level management. It will not impact the hourly manufacturing and logistics workforce. Sawyer Merritt wrote this post: if Tesla's FSD supervised version 12.4 actually achieves a roughly 5 to 10x improvement in miles per intervention, as Elon Musk claims it will, or even comes close to that, it is far more important in the long run than whether Tesla delivers 410,000 or 430,000 vehicles this quarter. And I think a lot of people do forget that. I mean, Tesla is a manufacturer. The margins that Tesla has now are impressive. And yes, I do think they will get better, and I think we will see all-time highs for margins, and that'll be good for Tesla stock. But the reason why you're invested in Tesla at a $600+ billion market cap is not for them manufacturing vehicles. If that's the case, you want to be in Toyota, you want to be in another company. If you're invested in Tesla, it's for autonomous driving, it's for robotaxis, it's for the energy business. That is far more important longer term, in my personal opinion. Even just the energy business, I don't think people look at that enough, but just imagine 10, 20 years from now, Tesla's energy business could be larger than the car business by itself. Not autonomy, not, robotaxis, but bigger than the car business itself. Tesla has introduced a new lunar silver color for the Model S and the Model X for $2,500. Tesla describes lunar silver as a clean silver with a pronounced metallic effect and subtle blue tint. Elon Musk announced on X that SpaceX has no need for additional capital and will actually be buying back shares. At some point, probably this year, Tesla will buy back shares as well, and that will be a big positive for the stock, especially when Tesla stock is as cheap as it is now. I mean, it's very inexpensive relative to Tesla's all-time high. And it looks like today the Cybertruck is in Italy on its tour of the Middle East and Europe. Tesla held the groundbreaking ceremony today for their Shanghai Megapack factory. This is a $200 million factory. Start of production is Q1 2025, 35% quicker construction time than Tesla's Lathrop, California Megapack factory. Initial capacity of 10,000 units per year, 10 to 15 billion of revenue per year from this one factory. Just for context, Tesla did about $100 billion last year of total revenue. So that's 10 to 15% roughly of total revenue last year. That's pretty impressive for one factory. This new factory covers an area of 200,000 square meters, and it aims to export Megapacks to overseas markets, including the Asia-Pacific region, to support the global green future. And this is what Elon Musk just said about the new U.S. tariffs targeting Chinese EVs.
In fact, I was surprised when they were announced. Tesla competes quite well in the market in China with no tariffs and no differential support. In general, I'm in favor of no tariffs. I'm also actually in favor of no tax incentives for EVs, but provided that there are also the tax incentives for oil and gas must for EVs, but provided that there are also the tax incentives for oil and gas must also be eliminated. So I'm in favor of no tariffs and no incentives for electric vehicles or for oil and gas. And if they're all taken away, I think that would be for the best.
So it's back to what you were saying about truth. You want the truth working, truth of the price.
I think generally things that inhibit freedom of exchange or distort the market are not good. They're bad.
I don't know about you guys, but when I heard that, it just sounded like a lot of confidence from Elon that Tesla will be able to compete no matter what product comes to market or what, gets released to the public. And I would say that's probably true since Tesla is already a premium brand. It's not like super premium, right? It's not like Ferrari, Lamborghini, Rolls-Royce, things of that nature, but it is higher cost-wise than the average vehicle sold in the US. At least the Model Y is, which was the top-selling vehicle around the world last year. So I think Elon Musk's confidence here is probably warranted, but that just goes to show, Tesla's got a bright future. Really, no matter what happens. Over on StockTwits, the sentiment for Tesla is bearish at 41. Yesterday, you were bullish at 56, which is pretty interesting that you're actually seeing more bears today, that Tesla stock is up 2.5% compared to yesterday when Tesla was down a lot. Message volume is high at 55 today. Yesterday, it was high at 62, so a little bit less for message volume. And participation ratio is sitting at 54, which is normal, but lower than where we have been recently. Google Trends data for the Cybertruck remains at 74. The Model Y is now at 39, falling a little bit more. The Model 3 at 23, Model S at 11, and the Model X at 9. Which, again, it's worth mentioning that, your overall Google Trends data is insanely strong right now. It's usually not this strong this time of the year. So I actually think there's a very good chance of getting an upside surprise for Tesla's deliveries in Q2 as well as Q3. Which is this current quarter and then next quarter. Option activity today by big money is quite positive. You have seen 5 orders totaling $1.78 million with a positive order value of 100%. Just some notable ones here would be a June 14th 175 call for $126,000. A call expiring today, the 172.50 with a break even of about 178, which is about where we are now for $114,000. You do have a 185 call for May 31st. That's next week for $5 million. Now, that's an interesting trade. Next week, 185 call with $1.59 a premium. That's saying the stock will be $186.59 by next week. That is quite a bit of upside for a $5 million trade. There are others here as well. A June 21st 180 call for $1.16 million. A June 14th 190 call for $125,000. A May 31st 180 call for $121,000. And a June 14th 190 call for $128,000. So it looks like big money starting to position for larger upside in Tesla. But we'll talk about this a little bit more in the next video. Tesla's short interest rising a little bit today to 3.89%. You have $18.71 billion currently in short positions with 107.69 million shares that are currently sold short. The percent of stocks above their 50-day moving average is up 3.29%. So 3.29% of all stocks out on the markets are breaking above their 50-day moving average today, which is a pretty strong day for broad markets. So you are definitely seeing a little bit more of a broad-based rally today. The Russell 2000 is up almost 1%. The NASDAQ is up 1.15%. S&P is up 0.8%. And the Dow is up 0.3%. The VIX is also falling by 6% today. CNN's Fear and Greed Index today is now neutral, which is 1 point higher than where you were yesterday at 53. Today you were at 54. If you look at market momentum, that is greed, stock price strength, fear, stock price breadth is neutral, put and call options is neutral, market volatility is neutral, safe haven demand is greed, and junk bond demand is fear. Here today, 10-year treasury yields are declining almost 1 basis point. TLT is up 0.2%, oil is up 1.1%, and the dollar is, well, pretty flat today from what I can see. Let's refresh this. Nope, the dollar is actually down 0.5%. So the dollar falling today could be a reason why broader markets are outperforming. When the dollar falls, any company that takes in foreign currency, well, benefits from that conversion from foreign currencies that are stronger into a weaker dollar. Tesla's stock at the time of recording this video is back above its 20-day moving average, which is a very strong sign as long as we can close here and then in after hours trading. I will also say that whenever you see a strong Friday, that can tend to lead into a strong start of the following week as well. Typically, if a stock's up 3% or so, the size of Tesla, that's a pretty good sign to say people feel confident holding Tesla over a long weekend. Tesla's RSI is sitting at almost 53, which is still pretty neutral. The MACD line is at 1.91 and the signal line is at 1.72. So numbers still look healthy there and you're still trending in the upwards direction. The next level of resistance is around 180, and then you're looking at that 100-day moving average at 185, and then potentially back to 188. If you get above that, then your next resistance is around 200, and then 213. If you get above 213, that's where things start to look a lot better because that would be breaking your 200-day moving average, and whenever you get a break of the 200-day moving average, well, it's led to massive rallies in the past. Let me know what you think about this information down below in the comment section. Hit the like button as well as subscribe to the channel. You guys have a fantastic rest of your day. If you guys do want to come trade with us live in real time, check out that link down below in the description of this video. Thank you for watching. Enjoy your weekends, and I will see you in the next one.